The world demands visibility. Be seen, be loud, show everything. We're taught power comes from display. But what if this is a lie? What if constant showing off is the path to losing it all? What if public triumph leads to private undoing? Niccolò Machiavelli, a keen observer of people, saw this repeatedly. Those who show too much, too soon, become easy targets. The bright flag is first shot down. The truly powerful don't announce their might. They let others feel it subtly, deeply, often too late. In dangerous Renaissance Florence, real power was a sharp, hidden blade. History is full of rulers who fell because they couldn't stop bragging. Machiavelli learned, strength loudly flaunted turns into weakness. The strongest person is not the loudest, but the one quietly watching, calculating, waiting for others to reveal their plans. Yet today, in our digital age, we do the opposite. We share goals, victories, plans, emotions, and relationships for authenticity. Machiavelli would call this a direct plan for failure. The loud become predictable. The predictable are easily hurt, manipulated, defeated. If you're ready to master the power of strategic silence, hit that subscribe button now to join a community committed to true influence. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Too much exposure invites attack. The more you reveal, the easier it is for others to label, fight, or subtly destroy you. Mystery is your strongest armor. A loud business owner brags. Others steal or ruin ideas. A person who talks over others loses respect. Picture the opposite, the one who says little, whose actions are clear and purposeful. Others adjust to their quiet presence. Speaking too much limits you, declaring your position, revealing your tools. This allows others to counter your weaknesses. Machiavelli understood real strength comes from being underestimated. The clever fox hides its moves. The powerful lion rules by the quiet, constant threat of immense, hidden power, not by constant roaring. Modern culture confuses noise with power. We think presence means constant posting. Leadership means loudest. Power means performance. But Machiavelli knew, the more you show, the more you owe. Visibility creates a hidden debt. Silence creates vast, strategic space. It gives you freedom to move, change, and pivot without explanation. This is deep psychology. People fear what they cannot predict, what remains unknown. When actions are always displayed, you become easy to manage. When your mind is constantly revealed, you become easy to control. But when you purposefully stay quiet, keeping emotions steady, others are forced to guess. In their desperate attempts to understand you, they reveal more about themselves. This turns their curiosity into your advantage. Machiavelli, witnessing our constant showing off, would shake his head. Not against ambition, but how easily it's destroyed by premature display. He wrote, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." Your public words, promises, and early declarations become chains, trapping you in old versions of yourself. Deviations appear as weakness. Silence, however, is pure freedom. It's your right to change, grow, adapt, and change your mind without apology. Masters of power first master self-control, understanding the strength and holding back. Imagine two fighters. One shouts, boasts, the other walks in silently, unreadable. Which do you fear more? We fear the unknown, the unpredictable. When you show off money, looks, relationships, or plans, you think you're winning, making others nervous. In truth, you're showing them where to attack, inviting envy, sabotage, and teaching yourself to need external praise. Machiavelli warned, "It's safer to be feared than loved. True fear requires distance, mystery, not empty bragging." The desperate need for admiration is the seed of self-destruction. Tying self-worth to others' opinions makes you their slave. chasing shallow appearances over real results. The smart way to live: become unreadable, move in deep silence, execute plans without grand announcements. Speak only when words add real weight. Let undeniable results speak. This is ultimate control over your story, your opponent, your destiny. Machiavelli didn't advise hiding out of fear. He advised revealing only what strategically helped ultimate goals. Real influence is not constant visibility. It's being profoundly felt, quietly, powerfully. Next time you feel the urge to share, pause. Ask, who truly gains from this display? You or those now preparing to use it against you? Remember, the strongest forces are often unseen, unheard. Gravity, time, pressure, the silent growth of a mountain. Be like them. Be still, sharp, silent. Speaking before acting gives enemies time to prepare, something to study, making you a visible, traceable map. Once predictable, you are no longer truly powerful. You are manageable. Machiavelli knew power begins with ultimate self-control, knowing when to hold back words, actions, and self. Why do people constantly show off? They crave admiration, external proof of worth. The Machiavellian mind seeks leverage, and strategic silence provides it. Not passive silence, but chosen, controlled, profoundly dangerous silence. There's a pattern. The higher someone rises, the less they speak. Their words carry more weight, precisely because they are used less often. The beginner explains everything. The master explains nothing. Machiavelli said, "It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles." True power is built through deep self-control in words, actions, and reactions. Show-offs are easy targets, easily angered, revealing feelings loudly. The Machiavellian operator doesn't flinch, doesn't explain, plays for strategic position, not applause. The most influential people are not the loudest, but those whose silence makes people nervous. This is strategic invisibility. Loudness makes you traceable. Quietness forces imagination, making you seem more powerful, intimidating. Visibility limits. Imagination expands. Ancient kings sat behind screens. Emperors were rarely seen. Not out of fear, but understanding the delicate power of how they were perceived. Once common or familiar, you lose command. Today, we willingly reveal weaknesses for attention, reward over sharing, confuse privacy with guilt, and subtlety with absence. This is why people struggle to command respect. They misunderstand the value of mystery. Machiavelli warned, men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. What people perceive matters more than what you actually do. If you show the difficult process, you lessen the impact of the result. A magician explaining his trick loses wonder. Achievements broadcasted become softer. Every justifying word weakens impact. Every revealed detail gives enemies a chance to find flaws. Every boast shifts attention from results to ego. The disciplined person quietly multiplies victories in silence, letting others wonder. More wonder leads to more respect, more power, without demand. This isn't invisibility, it's profoundly strategic visibility. Choose carefully when to step into the light. These moments must be rare, deliberate, purposeful. A powerful lion doesn't roar all day. Its roar, when it comes, is undeniable. Showing off not only weakens you externally but changes you internally. You begin to perform instead of truly acting, chasing applause instead of lasting results, shaping personality for external reactions instead of inner purpose. This is the showman's trap. Addicted to the audience, he becomes their slave, losing true freedom. Machiavelli would say, don't play to the crowd, play above them. Let them talk, wonder, but never fully see. When seen too clearly, you are measured, compared, made smaller. Mystique is the powerful shadow of real power. Build it by removing the desperate need to prove anything, replacing showing off with unwavering self-control. Act without explaining. Win without public celebration. Say less, but make your words mean more. This forces the world to come to you, noticing what wasn't said. This is the quiet war Machiavelli fought, for ultimate control, lasting influence. In an age demanding attention, those mastering silence become gods among the noise. The strong man doesn't demand attention. He profoundly doesn't need it. The greatest advantage is the ability to remain silent while others carelessly expose themselves. Every brag, overshare, quick explanation is a reveal of weakness, insecurity, lack. Machiavelli knew this deep truth. He saw it in the fall of princes, the betrayal of allies. They thought public performance was persuasion, noise was power. They were outsmarted by men who said less, watched more, moved only when it perfectly served their goals. To truly understand this, kill the idea that being fully understood is always good. The moment people believe they have you figured out, they stop fearing, stop respecting, and start planning to beat you. Machiavelli wrote for those who wanted to last. To last, be impossible to grasp, a true mystery. Great men knew the value of keeping things hidden. Caesar crossed the Rubicon in silence. Borgia made no big statements until enemies were cornered. Machiavelli himself put lessons into hints, not loud instructions. The world punishes oversharing, more so today. We willingly share secrets, weaknesses, wins, losses, feelings, believing it gives power. It doesn't. It gives power to others to watch, compare, judge, attack. You cannot control what you've freely given. Machiavelli urged building fortresses of the mind, inner places where true intentions are known only to you, goals carried out, process unseen until results are revealed. Those who build in silence build stronger. Architects don't show unfinished drawings. Generals don't loudly explain battle plans. Kings don't ask crowds for approval. In power, the tension of the unknown is more valuable than showing everything. The unknown is leverage. The silent room holds more feeling than the loud one. What is not said shapes behavior more deeply than any speech. The Machiavellian person controls what others know. The average person fails here, easing tension by speaking, covering doubt by talking, shouting success. They tragically teach the world how to read them. But the dangerous person fights that urge. He learns to hold his tongue, sit with discomfort, resist applause, speaking only when silence no longer serves his smart plan. This is the deep silence of absolute control. There's a difference between being quiet and unreadable. Quiet is passive. Unreadable is active, shaping thoughts by holding back just enough to make people wonder. That uncertainty becomes pure power. People fill missing pieces with their own fears, hopes, worries, making you a mirror that subtly twists their judgment. Truly powerful historical figures understood this. Churchill spoke rarely. Marcus Aurelius's thoughts were private. CEOs listen more than they talk. They are players, not performers. Machiavelli saw through false appearances. Charm fades. Applause dies. Fame is a weak shield. A strong mind, hidden, calm, unreadable, is unbreakable. Ask yourself, in a world of show, what happens when you don't perform? When you refuse to explain, choose not to show your process, stop telling every move. You gain space, clear thinking, absolute control. Others talk about you, guess, react. While they do that, you move, quietly, with great force, without needing permission. That's how empires are built, with unguessable actions, clear vision, unweakened by the crowd. Machiavelli would say, to rule without people fighting you, Remove your desperate need to be seen. Let the crowd chase attention, burn out in the spotlight. You stay in the shadows, not as a coward, but as the master builder of a power they recognize too late. They won't know how you got there, because you never showed your hand, didn't shout or brag, didn't compete for attention. You just moved. The loudest animal is rarely the most dangerous. The wolf doesn't bark before it bites. The snake doesn't warn. The storm doesn't explain itself. Silence, used wisely, is more deadly than any speech. Showing off, bragging, overexposure, a fatal flaw for success. Today, constant noise, social media, slogans, behind the scenes. Modern life is a huge show. But performing is not real power, it replaces it. True, lasting power doesn't need proof. The moment you prove something, you admit it's in doubt. Showing off invites reaction, tells the world where to aim attacks, shows your position prematurely, a huge strategic mistake. Machiavelli wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." The fool reveals himself, demands to be seen, recognized, praised, handing enemies information to destroy him. The wise man acts quietly, precisely, and only later, if ever, does the world learn his achievements. This is not timidity, but the deep silence of absolute control, above opinions, trends, insults. The man who constantly shows off has lost the core game, trading inner power for outside praise, easily controlled. Showing off puts you on an unhelpful timeline. You act when others are watching, performing for applause, mixing quick reactions with lasting results. Great plans die from too much attention. A good idea shared too early, a smart plan leaked for praise, a big goal announced and judged before ready. This is promising too much too soon. A death sentence for ambitions. You might think loudness shows confidence, but Machiavelli would disagree. True confidence is silent, moving with such exactness it demands respect. The loud leader seems friendly, not truly powerful. The quiet leader, who listens more, holds back information, has a different power. His words carry weight because he speaks less. Silence makes things more valuable. Every extra word weakens it. The person who constantly explains seems cheaper. The one who holds back, letting mystery speak, automatically seems more valuable. In negotiations, the first to speak often loses ground. More revealed, more given up. Calmly holding silence, others reveal their hand, fill the empty space, show weaknesses while guessing at yours. Machiavelli taught human nature. People are uncomfortable with the unknown. This discomfort makes them speak, react, show their hand, remain still, silent, and in their frantic effort to figure you out, they accidentally hurt themselves. Ask, when you post goals, brag about moves, reveal relationships, money, plans, who is it for? Real progress or quick praise? True control or temporary comfort? The person who needs to be seen is controlled by others' opinions. The person who sees everything while revealing nothing becomes untouchable. Machiavellian silence is rare because it demands strong self-control, freedom from needing others, reactions, immense power in being unknowable, a true puzzle. The unknown is feared, the predictable is managed. Choose wisely. Power is not just what you visibly do, it's what others think you might do. If they can't guess, prepare, or explain you, they will hesitate. That hesitation is where you win. It's not the showman who becomes king. It's the shadow figure, appearing only when the final move is made, 10 steps ahead, saying nothing until the game is over. Machiavelli would tell you to be utterly deliberate. Make them think you're playing a simple game while you play a deeper one. Smile kindly. Hold a hidden advantage. Nod thoughtfully. Keep score. Speak only when strategic silence has finished its profound work. This is the power of not showing off. Presence without performance. Say nothing, watch everything, Move only when it perfectly serves your ultimate goal. Every fall from power has one lesson. They were seen too clearly, too early. Machiavelli understood power. Like gold, loses value when too available. Constant display, broadcasting every move, floods the market with yourself. Once everywhere, you're no longer special, just background noise. You cannot be deeply respected and overly familiar. Rulers must learn not to be too easy to reach. A leader is known by results, not explanations, felt, not simply followed. His presence fills the room, even when absent. This presence isn't built by speaking louder, but by speaking less, making every appearance count, every word chosen with care. Chasing visibility gives up mystique. Mystique isn't hiding, it's deep self-control, discipline, showing only what helps your goal, nothing more. It's power kept strong through exactness. Great actors use silence. A glance, a pause, a held breath says more than a speech. The person who speaks after deliberate silence controls the flow. The one who listens longer understands more. The one who holds back gains power while others waste theirs. This is a complete way of seeing the world. Every interaction is a quiet fight for control. Noise is weakness, emotion a danger, the desperate wish to be admired the worst weakness. Needing praise hooks you on performing, which distracts from power. The person who rises in strategic silence is more effective, more dangerous, because nobody sees them coming until it's too late. They are the silent builder, creating without announcing, watching enemies while they loudly show plans. They wait until every piece is in place, then act with precision. People call it genius, but it's patience, silence, control. This control scares people because they can't prepare for what they can't guess, fight what they can't see, strike back at a force they don't understand. This is the psychology of fear. Machiavelli wrote, "It is much safer to be feared than loved. Love is given, fear is made." A key ingredient is not knowing what will happen. When people don't know your next move or how you think, they hesitate to challenge you. They step back from the powerful, unknown force behind your silence, respecting a distance they cannot cross. The strange truth of modern communication. The more we share, the less we are respected. Sharing feels good, honest, but power is about lasting. To last, train yourself to hold back when others release, to hide when others confess, to act when others announce. Not every truth, every detail needs to be public. There's a big difference between being open and being weak. Machiavelli would say, show only what is useful, reveal only what helps your position. Never confuse being open with being strong. While you carelessly tell everyone your plans, someone else watches, figuring out how to use your truth against you. They will not announce themselves. They will wait, smile, and when your guard is down, move. That is the cold, clear beauty of real power. It is never loud, rushed, or desperate. Do you want quick recognition or lasting results? You rarely have both. Early recognition makes you a target. Building loudly invites ruin. Needing applause makes you change plans. But the person happy to go unseen, unpraised, unnoticed, becomes a shadow, a force that doesn't need to be public to control things. Machiavelli understood fame. He used it but never believed it was a true goal. It's a subtle trap, forcing you to maintain a version of yourself for others, even if it costs your true power. The world tells you to be visible, loud, undeniable. The master knows. The more you are seen, the more you are watched. And the more you are watched, the easier it is to be taken apart. Be very careful what you reveal, what you show off. The person who constantly needs to show off may win the crowd for a short time, but he will never control the game. Machiavelli never wrote for the crowd. He wrote for the player, the ruler, the quiet strategist who knows, power is not what people see, power is what people can't see and fear. What makes a person powerful is not how loudly they speak, but how carefully they listen, not how much they reveal, but how much they wisely hold back. Not the applause they get, but the important moves they make when no one is watching. Those who lasted, who truly ruled, planned in silence, in shadows, without needing praise. Showing off is a basic misunderstanding of how power really works. The crowd cheers for the one who shines, but the one who endures understands that every moment of being seen comes at a steep price: exposure, weakness, predictability. For the Machiavellian mind, those costs are never taken on unless the reward is guaranteed. Today, most people live completely openly, telling everyone every feeling, idea, goal. But being open is not strength, it's giving up control. Show goals, they'll make fun. Show process, they'll steal. Show money, they'll plan against you. Every revelation invites judgment, envy, opposition. But staying quiet, hard to read, gives you the advantage. No one can attack what they can't define, block a move they don't see, or destroy what is hidden. That is a clever plan. The world tells you to be clear. Machiavelli tells you to be selective. The world tells you to be real. Machiavelli tells you to be smart. The world tells you to be admired. Machiavelli tells you to be feared when needed and always respected. Respect is earned through being steady, holding back, using force only when it helps your goal. Being unseen is not your enemy. Not caring about your presence is. No one ignores what they don't understand, but they often ignore what is too common. Let them wonder, guess, think they know you, while you quietly redefine who you are. Machiavelli taught that a leader must sometimes seem good without truly being good, that how people see you is a tool. You don't owe the world a full version of yourself. You owe it results. Results don't need fancy decorations or explanations. They speak louder than your mouth. Move in silence. Build in silence. Win in silence. When you speak, let it be rare, purposeful, carrying the weight of all you chose not to say. That gives a voice power. The person who shows off today may impress a room for a moment. The person who stays silent will shape the world. Your lasting mark is made by quiet, purposeful, unstoppable action. Kings were not crowned by the crowd, but by their ability to rule without needing to be seen, to make decisions shaping futures without explaining to those who wouldn't understand. You don't need to be famous, followed, or praised. You need to be effective. Effectiveness begins where the need for attention ends. Walk away from the spotlight. Stop needing to prove yourself. Master your tongue. Control your pride. Focus on real impact, not image. When your silence is louder than their noise, you've won. When your actions are felt in rooms you never entered, you've won. When they realize they've been playing your game without hearing your rules, you've won. That's the final rule. That's the quiet victory. That's what Machiavelli tried to tell you before the noise drowned him out. If this resonated, if something clicked, a part of you is tired of the noise, tired of explaining, tired of needing permission to be powerful. Something deeper is waking up. You've realized admiration means nothing if it makes you easy to guess. True respect begins when you no longer change yourself to fit what others expect. Are you ready to be doubted, misunderstood, even disliked, choosing strategy over spectacle? Are you willing to walk the silent path, knowing it's colder, lonelier, but far more powerful and dangerous? If this spoke to you, write in the comments, "I move in silence." Let's see how many are done performing, ready to stop showing off, and start truly winning. Don't stop here. Watch the next video. It's not just content, It's preparation. Preparation for a world that rewards the lethal, not the loud. I'll see you there. Remember, true power isn't loud, it's lethal. If you're ready to stop performing and start truly winning, subscribe and watch the next video to continue your journey into strategic mastery.